Welcome back to Regular Guys Outdoors. I'm Chris. After using one of Phil's semi-auto shotguns for duck hunting, I had to have one of my own. I went out and got the Mossberg 930. Let's check it out. Basic features are, it is a 3-inch chambered 12 gauge, 26-inch barrel on this model, and this one is in the mossy oak bottomland camo configuration. Let's see what else came in the box. You got your safety lock as normal these days, owner's manual, firearm safety depends on you, some pamphlets, how to clean like Jerry, responsible firearms ownership, how to change your barrels, sign up for the NRA, pretty important there, some Mossberg stickers, and it comes with 3 chokes. Modified is in the barrel, and you have improved cylinder and full right here, and the choke wrench. It also came with a turkey choke, which is a good bonus. You got the X Factor turkey choke here. That'll be fun to test. Something else that was very neat it came with were these shims. Now, these shims adjust your rise and drop in the shotgun. And they do that by inserting between your stock and your receiver, and it creates an angle, either bringing the buttstock down this way or tilting it back up so that you get a good cheek weld and you're looking right down the barrel the way it is, so you can kind of customize your fit. It's a very nice feature. So some of the other standard features are the fiber-optic front sight, the tang mounted safety, which is my preferred spot on a shotgun, right there on the tang. It's also very nice for a lefty. It's very ambidextrous that way. It also has the chamber plug in. Get that out. And it has a cocking indicator right here in the trigger guard. So when the gun is cocked like it is right now, it sticks out. When you squeeze the trigger and the gun is no longer cocked, it goes away. That's a pretty neat little feature. Now that's all well and good, but does it work? The only thing I've done to this shotgun so far is I made sure that the choke is tight. It's the modified that came in it. Made sure that the magazine cap is tight, and I ran a bore snake down the barrel to make sure I got out any grease or any residual packing oil and stuff like that. See how it likes some low brass. And there's my shells. We picked them up because that's how we roll. Well, it seems to cycle just fine. Let's check out point of aim, point of impact at 30 yards. So it cycles and it hits where it's supposed to. We're off to a good start. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the stock spacer. I think I would like a little more angle. I would like the receiver and the buttstock to just torque just a little bit. So we're going to put the one that is thicker up top and thinner down on the bottom. Alright, so now we're going to put in that spacer. Got our instructions out. They seem pretty straightforward. It says I'm going to need a 3/4 inch socket, and I'm going to need to take off the recoil pad, which usually means a Phillips. Get out our pieces for the drop. You need the drop spacer, and you need the corresponding 1/4 inch drop spacer. They're both .250 drop pieces. So let's see how long it takes me. The instructions say the screws will remain in the recoil pad, and they do. Pretty straightforward in there. Alright, it says to place the selected stock spacer, which is our 1/4 inch drop, on the back of the receiver, text side facing out, and note the clocking slot, which I believe is that. Notice it's thicker up here than it is down here. It's going to give that slight cant I'm looking for. Reinstall the stock. With the matching retention plate, which is this one with the 1/4 inch drop marking. The retention plate must be installed with the text side facing out and right side up. You should be able to read the markings right side up when looking into the butt end of the stock. Like so. Reinstall the nut spacer and the screw or the nut. Do not over tighten the stock nut. Not too bad, pretty straightforward. We're also going to use this to test some turkey loads, and so we're going to use the choke that came with it. Mossberg X Factor. And I'm going to take this on a waterfowl hunt before the season gets out. And that was a bust because everything was frozen and there were no birds around. So I went shooting sporting clays. When I say shooting sporting clays, I mean I shot at sporting clays. No fault of the shotgun, I'm just not very good. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to see how easy it is to disassemble and clean, and that's important for a duck gun because you're going to hunt ducks maybe in the snow, in the rain, It's going to be in a boat and get wet. You're going to drop it in the swamp. Something's going to happen and you're going to need to take it completely apart and clean it out. So we'll test that out. Alright, I've never done this before, so I'm just going to follow kind of straight out of the manual and we'll fast forward, but we're going to keep track of our time. So I've got what it looks like I'm going to need: a little hammer and a punch. This is a 1911 mainspring housing punch. That's why it has that little indentation right there, but it looks like it's going to fit just right where we need it to. So let's get started. Alright, so less than 3 minutes, I got it apart. Looks pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Now I'm just going to wipe it down some, so we'll just skip that. I'm going to wipe it down a little bit and then we'll get to reassembly. We'll restart our time for reassembly. Alright, so the manual also tells you exactly how to clean each specific group, and now we're going to go on to reassembly. And we will start time again. Alright, now we're going to make sure that the safety and everything works as it should. Safety on. Boom. Alright, she's back in action. We're under 7 minutes, and that was my first time. I bet I could cut that in half. Alright, one thing I think I failed to mention was how nice this trigger pull is. So, quick alibi on that. Let me show you. Right there at 5 pounds, shade over 5 pounds. And what's nice about it, it's very crisp and there's almost zero over travel. It's a very nice trigger. Alright, so here's my overall impression. It hits where it's supposed to. It cycles. It's got a good trigger. What's not to like? Now, being picky, and I should be, this is a review, a couple things that are maybe personal preferences or whatever, but I wish the vent rib came up and was really prominent the way it is on this Benelli Supernova. See the way this comes up? It's really prominent when you put it up. The same thing can be said for this Browning BPS. You put this up and you're looking down, the vent rib really comes up high off the barrel, so that's a nice thing. I was gonna say I didn't really care for the grip angle right here and the feel of this. It doesn't feel as good as this Benelli, but it feels about the same as this BPS, and this BPS is a really nice handling gun. So maybe that's just because I got used to this Supernova and this Winchester SXP. This has a really nice feeling grip as well. But this and this are really about the same as far as the way your hand feels on the grip. So really no complaint there. Now, something of note about this shotgun review is I shot this entire video on the Yi 4K Action Cam. I used all of its various modes to create the slow-mo you saw, some of the closer stuff, some of the further stuff, and the audio. The audio on it's great. I hardly have to play with it at all. The only thing I played with is volume up or down. I didn't play with tones or echo reduction or anything like that. So the Yi 4K, I just wanted to see if I could make a video with just an action camera, and I think it worked out pretty well. So I'm going to put a link below to the Yi 4K. If you liked it, you can play with its various modes and you can make pretty good video out of it. Now the idea with these links are that RGO will get a small commission if you use those links to make a purchase. And the idea is to raise enough money to buy some gear, use it, review it, test it, and then give it away to one of our subscribers. So if some of the stuff we're reviewing, it looks like something you want, please use our links to do so. Help us do that. Hope you enjoyed that review of the Mossberg 930 shotgun. I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. I also did a review on the Yi 4K action camera that I used to do this whole video with, as well as the Tacticam 3.0. They're kind of related to this video because I was shooting them all kind of at the same time and on the same trips. So I'm going to put the Yi right here and the Tacticam right here. Give us a subscribe. Thanks for watching.